here for our MEWC and MECC World Finals. We are now moving to the best of the best. 7 minutes remaining.
He's been trained well.
Right, and an arrow move, another lambda.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And, you know, there are categories of lambdas that these top players will have. 125 points ahead of Andrew, Juan, and Chris.
So they are vying for the title and $5,000 for the individual.
Some lambda magic going on there.
Yes.
Summit with
Michael Jarman!
all those years of training.
The CFA program is your pathway to becoming a globally recognized investment professional. The Microsoft Excel Challenge is not just a competition, it's where future investment industry leaders rise, where modeling meets strategy and strategy meets opportunity. The CFA program builds the foundation backed by the global benchmark in investment education. Chart your course, set the standard. CFA Institute.
If you're looking to grow your business, worrying about having the right supplies and products in stock without overspending or wasting time shouldn't be on your to-do list. Order.co provides the easiest way to purchase and pay for everything your business needs, keeping operations running smoothly and your team focused on what matters most. Cut costs and complexity with every order and visit Order.co today.
Alrighty, welcome everybody to the start of the online rounds for the MEWC 2025. Welcome to people who are viewing this live and to anyone who might be seeing this after the fact. My name's Tim Hang. I'm joined here with my co-host Liam Bastick. How are you, Liam?
I'm fine. Looking forward to this. Are you?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now there are 256 players who are competing in the online rounds of the Microsoft Excel World Championship 2025. This first round, at least anyway, we're going to be doing 2 rounds tonight. So the last 256 and the last 128. With us tonight, we'll be joined by 8 players who will be competing live. I believe everyone else who is competing in this round should have finished by now, so we'll get to see how they all performed very shortly. But yeah, I'm excited to see how today's going to go.
Yes, I think it's going to be an interesting one. We'll see how it all goes through.
Absolutely, that's right. Now there is a $60,000 prize pool, a bit over $60,000 prize pool at the end of this. So hopefully everyone will be in for a good competition to try and win that. I'm pretty sure pretty much whoever gets through this round has a 3/4 chance of getting invited to compete in Las Vegas. So we'll see how they go. With that in mind, why don't we introduce our players today?
Welcome everyone.
G'day everybody. So in the top left-hand side, we've got Aina. Aina is an undergraduate student from Madagascar who is a newcomer to the pro competition. He'll be competing against Vivian, who is an actuary from Melbourne, first time entering this competition. Aina, how are you feeling about today?
Yeah, I think I have prepared enough for today, and I hope I'll be making it.
Excellent.
And
Vivian,
Vivian, sorry,
this is your first time as well?
Yes, first time, and unlike Ina, I haven't prepared a lot for today, so good luck to you.
There's no pressure on Australian actuaries, is what I was going to say.
Andrew's going to win it anyway. It's okay, Andrew was still here there to win it, right? You don't need me to win it, so it's fine.
No, best of luck to you both.
Excellent. In the top right-hand corner, we have John, who is a commercial accountant working with Excel for far too long and looking for more interesting ways to learn new techniques. He'll be up against Michael, who is an Excel VBA developer from Sydney. G'day, John.
Hello. Bit nerve-wracking to be on the live stream.
Fair enough, fair enough. And Michael, this is not your first time here.
We've rehearsed as well, haven't we? Sorry, I thought I'd get a chance to say something.
Sorry, Liam, I'll leave you to it next time.
No, you go.
Go on, Michael.
Second time live streaming, hoping for a little bit of redemption. Wasn't happy enough with how I went the first time round, so if I don't embarrass myself this time, that is a win for me.
Excellent, excellent.
In the middle, we move on. Before we go on here, given we've got time, I know this is the long sport, but given we've got a Brit and an Aussie there, who's going to win the Ashes? Rhetorical question, we know.
Let's not get political.
Sorry, Tim.
Forget about the Ashes. Who's going to win the F1? But anyway, enough about that. In the middle, we have Zhang. As a developer from China, not an expert in Excel, self-professed, but loves problem solving. And he'll be up against Harry, who is a systems analyst from the UK. He uses Excel to solve problems for a renewable energy consultancy. He's also founding member of the Financial Modelling World Cup UK. So Zhang, welcome to the live stream.
Thank you.
Good. And Harry, this is your third time competing, you were saying?
Yes, this is my third time live. I lost or came 4th place in both my first and second attempt, so potentially on for a hat trick today. We'll see.
Well, you want to be in 4th place at the end of today, because 4th place means you move on to the last 64. So, actually, does it? No, 4th place means that you don't. Sorry, you need to be 2nd place this time, 2nd or 1st place.
Well, given it's head-to-head, you probably don't want to be 2nd place. But I was thinking, when you say 4th place, Harry, was it actually 4th overall? Because that would have been pretty good.
4 out of 4 on the stream.
4 out of before. I do.
It was the grand final, though. That's what we'll tell everybody. They don't need to know. And welcome, Zhang.
I'm very excited, but also very nervous, but I will try to enjoy this game.
Yeah, definitely do that. It's all the fun of the fair here.
Excellent. And last but not least, in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Soren, who is a teacher and consultant from Denmark, who doesn't work with Excel professionally, which makes him an exception, I think, in this this competition. Loves problem solving. And he'll be up against Will, who is a data analyst from Australia. Usually this competition is this fun fact about himself, so he says he's at a bit of a loss for a different one this time. So, Will, do you have you know, in the half an hour in which you've had to think about it, have you found something else you want to talk about instead?
Not gonna lie, not really. Just happy to be here and have some fun. Give it a go.
Sounds good.
And Soren, your first time competing in the live stream?
Live, yes. I've been competing for the last 2 years. The first year I went out immediately because I didn't know the difference between adding and multiplication. Yeah, that word. Times.
Excellent.
So you're looking forward to a non-computational challenge tonight?
I'm looking forward to anything. It's fun.
Ooh, fantastic. Well, we are about time to see what they're going to be competing on. So why don't we take a look at the case? Let's move on.
Present you the case. Powerlifting, designed by Hayden Wiseman from the UK. The Powerlifting World Championship has just taken place. The judges have sent you data from the competition and would like you to organize it to answer various questions about the competition. In powerlifting, athletes complete 3 exercises in order: squat, bench press, and deadlift. Each athlete gets 3 attempts at each lift for a total of 9 lifts. The maximum lift on each exercise is added together for each athlete to give their total result. The sport is split into weight classes. The competitor with the highest total in each weight class wins that class. If there is a draw, then the athlete with the lowest body weight wins. The case has 140 questions of 7 levels of difficulty and 5 bonus questions. Plan your strategy wisely. Good luck.
Fantastic. Now, this is an interesting case. I mean, it's great to have a case about a competition in the competition that is the MEWC. Liam, what do you think about this, guys?
I think it's going to be an interesting one. I've given some predictions of what I think a winning score might be here to Tim, and as we get into it, we might talk about that as people get their heads around it all. But I think there's some challenges in here. I think some of it's very straightforward, and some of it not so much. You can say that about any of these, and it sounds like I'm just saying generic and haven't actually had a look at the question, but I have. But there's bits where I think you can actually deal with it different ways. And I know 2 or 3 of us have all had an attempt at this, and we've all come up with completely different methods. It's quite interesting that, because normally we come up with similar techniques.
That's right. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what we've got 8 people competing in this case, what they all come up with. I think financial modelers generally have a standard way of doing things, but you know, we've got people from a very diverse array of backgrounds here. I'd love to see what they come up with. So hopefully we've got enough time for folks to have a chance to look through the question and to have a read. We might bring them back on and see if they have any questions about the case.
Welcome back. Is it making sense to everybody, or does anyone have any questions before we start? Because Tim will be delighted to take. This is why I'm taking over this bit. I'm going to do the introduction so that Tim has to answer all the complicated questions. Fairly straightforward, happy? That's how I felt when I was doing this as well. It's absolutely fine. It's okay. So good luck, everybody, then. I'll hand over to Tim to commence the formal proceedings then, if there's no questions.
Alrighty. Well, let's give it all a go. Good luck, have fun, everybody. The time starts now. All right,
So
and we are
well.
straight into Ina's screen by the looks of it.
A level 4.
Level
You've
4,
done the first 3
46 new land formulas. Interesting. Okay. Ina looks like he's going to make a good start. We're going to have to look out for what all these lambdas are.
Yes. It seems to be capital. Oh, having a look through quickly. So while everybody's getting going then, Tim, I thought we might try and do some predictions in this beforehand as a bit of fun. Any ideas what we think? So we've got 4 head-to-heads going on here. We've got Ina versus Vivian, John versus Michael, Zhang versus Harry, and Soren versus Will. And I can see Zhang's already off the score, as is Harry, and Vivian's now come in. But in terms of what do you think a winning score might be in the head-to-heads?
Oh, that's an interesting question. In the head-to-heads, I think it's like I don't know enough about each player, to be honest, to have a good sense of it. People in the chat seem to be rooting for Will in particular. I think Harry has also got a fairly good fan base in terms of people thinking that he's going to perform well. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think probably a score of about somewhere between 600 and 700 is probably a good answer, or a good result for half an hour for this course, for this case.
Yes.
But left to be seen.
It will be interesting. I think I was talking about this beforehand, and we've commentated on others where people have been getting full marks or close to full marks in the half an hour. I think there's a few challenges that we'll talk through in this one that might make it difficult to get everything out in the 30 minutes. And I think I'm with you there that I'm expecting 700 to be a good score, but we don't know what the results are so far of all those people that have taken part outside of the live stream. We are we're not knowing anything about that, but it'd be interesting to see. But Zhang and Harry seem to be making a mockery of it, as I know, and Vivian are already at 110 after just what 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, I love the fact that everyone, like each of the pairs, are on even scores. So there's nothing between each of these pairs at the moment. Well, it's your guess is as good as mine as to who's going to win.
No, and we've got lambdas and VLOOKUPs and everything in between at the moment going. So, favorite Excel function VLOOKUP for Vivian. I can't tell. So, how many times has he typed VLOOKUP so far?
I mean, I sympathize with this because it's hard to type under pressure, right? And so every typo gets displayed in the live stream. You feel. I think when you're doing it for yourself, you tend to very quickly just backspace and get rid of things, and you don't realize how many mistakes you make just simply typing out formulae until it's displayed to the world to see. So,
and you can make errors anyway, Tim. I mean, on the level 1 question, which was just essentially an X lookup or a V lookup one about what was the first squat attempt. I must confess, I got that slightly wrong when I was doing it because I was assuming it was the first attempt that was successful. And so I overcomplicated it as I go through. And that's one of the things I think you can easily charge through and make questions. It's I was going to say there's lightning going off between Zhang and Harry. It might be at this stage, might be worth moving to Zhang, just seeing, or Harry. They're both on 210 now. They seem to be a very good match.
Well, I think folks were most excited for the Zhang versus Harry matchup in the YouTube chat at the moment. They seem to think that they're the top seeds in this particular live stream. So looking forward to seeing what happens out of the two of them. So with 210 points, he's cleared the first 2 levels and got the points for the first bonus question. For those people who aren't familiar with the live streams, you can see in the bottom right-hand side which levels that they have cleared and which bonuses they've cleared as well. Something special about the bonuses this round that's not standard for the like the Road to Las Vegas live streams that we've done earlier this year. The bonus questions are available to everybody, I believe. So everyone has the chance to win the points, not just one of the 2 head-to-heads.
And I think that's fair too. it's a case of it takes the pressure off trying to get those out quickly first, because sometimes some of the bonus questions are very easy, and it's really just how fast you can type. And a couple of them here are not that difficult as well. So it would be disappointing if someone got through because they got the bonus and the other one didn't.
Can I make a point with what Zangan's doing right now? He's made the same mistake that I did initially, which is when he was copying things down, he used the deadlift 3 column to try and go down to the bottom and then copy things all the way down as far as he could. But there are gaps. And as a result, he's not copied things all the way down to the very bottom of the screen. And that's sort of set him back because he doesn't have all the data in his work. And as a result, not all the answers are correct. Then he's realised he's made a mistake.
A tip I give there, when you have this sort of question, if you're under time pressure and you're thinking of having a go yourselves, is perhaps turn the actual the case data into a table. Then when you're copying it down, it will copy down all the way, even if there's spaces in there. Because I had the same issue as you.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet it's deliberate why they've had the blank ones there. So yes, it's good to see my case answers looking just the same as his, just making a right mess of the case data sheet.
Let's head over to Harry because I think Zhang and Harry are still neck and neck. Harry got through that question slightly faster. Now this is the weights question, if I remember correctly. So counting the number of plates that you have. You can see he's using this XX lookup too, which appears to be a lambda of some sort that he's created in advance. Now who can guess what XX lookup does? And then once you work it out, you can tell me what XX lookup 2 does, which is what we're looking at right now.
Maybe it squares it.
I mean, I'm assuming that it's a lambda to try and do a 2-dimensional X lookup, right? And that's probably what it is in all likelihood. Fantastic. It is nice to see people bring lambdas into this competition.
Now this is interesting. Sorry, Tim, I'm going to interrupt here in terms of in row 174. This is time pressure coming in. So what's happening here is Harry's putting in row 175 the weights, and you see he's typing them in when a transpose would have worked quite quickly here, and it's those sorts of things that you do, and it's not necessarily that this question is under real time pressure, but it's just sometimes when you've got the cameras on you as well as you're doing it, you just forget, oh yeah, why don't I just hit transpose to get those numbers out here, because it's just been typing those values in. And I think of someone who's done well before, even if he's modest and saying he hasn't. I'm just surprised that Harry's typing those numbers in.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Now, I think it's actually a little bit interesting what he's doing here, where he's trying to work backwards, right? So he's taking the weights for the attempt, and then he's sort of working backwards from the smallest weights into getting the biggest weights. Now, this I'm not sure if it's a correct way of doing it. I know when I gave it a shot, I did it the other way around. So you put the heaviest weights on first, and then you load on subsequently lighter and lighter weights, because that's how the question asks you to do it.
Yeah, row 160. The bar is always loaded with the fewest number of plates possible, and I think that's the danger of what Harry's going to do this way. That whilst he may come up with a solution, it might not be the solution.
Yeah. I think the other thing, like the big problem I see with this, like even if he was able to generate a solution like this that used the smallest plates first, I feel like that's going to come up short because the actual weights that are used are not 100% correct. Like I think in some of the weights, you have to add on like these additional ½ kilo weights or something like that that don't fit in within that table. So the number that you choose might not actually be a correct, perfect number to fit into the weights.
I just did it. Yeah, I just did an integer on. I went from descending down and just did the integer and just worked out what was the maximum number you could use for double each weight. So the weight plates of 25, 20. I just put a table together of 50, 40, and 30. Maybe we take the pressure off Harry. I'm interested to go and see what's going on, actually. There's a lot of people on higher scores, but I'm curious to see what's going on with Soren and Will, actually, down at the very bottom, and see in terms of they're going a little bit slower and just seeing where they're getting stuck or what they're doing. Maybe we've had this before, haven't we, Tim, where somebody sets up a huge data table and then does about 4 questions all at the same time. And maybe that's
right.
what's going on.
I mean, as we look at Soren's spreadsheet, I do have to ask you, how was your Danish?
Oh, it's very good. It was very tasty. I had some strawberry jam with it, and it was lovely. Oh, that's not what you're asking, though, is it? Zopschlag. I'm unfortunately I can't make a joke about that, but the thing here is that it's not quite so good. So maybe we'll come back to how he's looking at a minute. I do have a cheat sheet for the Danish. I'll go and look at them. Maybe we'll go over to Will for a second first while I dig out my Danish cheat sheet.
That's all right. I did look at the cheat sheet. Zopslag is not in one of the listed functions in there, but I assume it's next lookup of some sort.
I'm going to have a look to see if I can find it, then not let you tell you. So
either that or it's a piece of IKEA furniture, but I suppose that'd be Swedish, wouldn't it? So
it's the X lookup function, apparently. According to, so no doubt we'll have anyone telling us. Apologies to any Danish viewers who actually say actually it's not, but that's what Google is telling me. So we'll go through there. So this is someone after my own heart here. Will make your tables as short a name as possible. I like all. It doesn't make them the easiest to read, but it does make your formula shorter. So,
it does make me wonder, though, like when you have the short tables, there is an advantage to it, right? The pros and cons. Yes, it makes the formula harder to read, and it might be more difficult to work out what each column represents in the heat of the moment. But at the same time, you can see everything on the one screen, and so there are advantages to being able to just visibly see everything and refer to stuff rather than having to scroll left and right, back and forth between column A and column B.
As long as you remember what they are. It was very interesting that I saw him delete, take, and go for max filter, which do 2 completely different things, really. Though, I think I see where he's going at there, but I'm trying to work out which one he's doing at the moment. Is it trying to get the weight class?
I'm a little nervous he's overcomplicating the problem, right?
Yes.
I feel like the question 2 or the level 2 is a relatively easy question, and maybe he's misinterpreted, and that's why he's trying to overcomplicate things.
Yeah,
But,
although to be honest, I did use let. You'll be pleased to know Tim hates me using the offset function, and I use let with offset and XLOOKUP for question 2 here, Tim. So you can shout at me as well. So I certainly my formula was longer than that one, so I definitely overcomplicated it.
Well, why don't we take a look at Michael? I feel like Michael and John haven't had any love so far.
That's right. Let's go and have a look. So here's Michael.
Here we are.
Hopefully,
this is the other way of being able to see everything on the screen. Just simply make your screen resolution small enough so that you can view more columns. That's the way to work it.
I'm presuming he's working on a 100-inch monitor. It's, I am going to get my binoculars out in a minute and concede that I need better reading glasses. But whatever works for you. And so he's on level 3 at the moment. So, and that's not the right answer yet for that first one. So he's made a mistake in there.
Oh dear.
But it will go through. But he's turned it into a table. So the case data there, I think this is a good tip here, is turning it. So for those that are thinking of entering or have already entered, turning your case data into a table means you don't have to waste time double clicking, copying things down, or where there are potential, if you're a keyboard warrior, not copying something all the way down.
You know, it's funny, as far as much as I espouse the use of tables in day-to-day life, I actually just cheated and just went for case data A to A rather than stuff around with tables, to be honest. So, not following my own advice, but still works reasonably well. Alrighty. How about
That's an
John? How is
interesting
John
one there.
doing?
For B 311 in there. Now this is the pressure. How many competitors haven't made a successful attempt? 311's a bit off. I mean, if you look at the data on the case study, you would notice immediately that there aren't that many. So anyway, let's move on to John.
Okay, John is working through the weight of the plates, and I think he's doing it in a much more conventional way than what we were expecting.
Yes. The only difference for me there is I actually doubled all of the weight plates because you do need symmetrical. So I was working it that way so I could do a division. Your formula's a bit more complicated if you use 25, 20, 15, 10. Whereas if you double the weight plates, the formula's a lot more straightforward as to how many you need. It's pretty much just the integer value of dividing the weight that's left by that number.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Whereas you end up with having to do things like this otherwise, which I understand. And look, again, it's the pressure of time. When Tim and I did this, whilst we wanted to see how far we got in 30 minutes, there was no gold stars on the line for us. So, it's very, very different. There's no pressure on us. So it's very easy for us to make these comments and observations. But when you've got the bright lights on you, it's an entirely different thing.
That's right. Can I just highlight something that that John has done? Sorry, here. He's made a change to his formula in row 176, so the first row of the actual questions, because when he copied it down, he realized that one of the formulae or some of the references weren't anchored correctly to that 25, 20, and so on row. But what he's done, he's actually changed it in the answer section. He hasn't changed it in the sample. And so I've made this mistake in the past where if you have to use that formula in the future, you often copy the sample down. You don't copy the to the next question that you need. And the risk of that then is that all of the formulae don't work properly because all of the anchoring doesn't work when you do that.
Yeah.
So something to bear in mind.
Now, I'm curious, whilst I think we should go back and have a look at Harry in a minute or two, before that, I'd like to see why Ina's on 338. That's an interesting score. And, whilst it's great that Harry and Zhang are going great guns, they're both back level pegging again. But if we can get over to Ina at the moment, the 338's got 5% on level 5. So level 5 is the question on... Oh yeah, this is a bit tricky about what ranking you are in your class. So this gets a bit more involved now. And I use lots of helper columns, whereas we're getting lots of lets and XLOOKUP and scores.
That's actually a very interesting point that you raise. That people that like Ina's using a let here to try and do all this in one hit. Whereas I think you and I would probably use the helper columns, right? And so, you could easily create a column for the lift. You could create a column for the score. You could create a column for all of these other things, one at a time, and then combine it all together afterwards. Like, it's for me personally, it's hard to see how a let, like trying to do this in a let, is going to speed you up as you work straight away. Not sure what your thoughts on that are.
I think it's even more than that. So let's just talk about gamesmanship in terms of for actually scoring as many points as you can. If you've got all the helper columns here, most people are not going to take the time out and read all 7 questions before they start. They're just going to get straight into it because you just think 30 minutes, got 4 minutes of question plus the bonus. I haven't got much time. If you actually step everything out and keep your formulas short and simple, you never know which helper columns might come back in. So for example, I found it quite easy to get the final bonus question. So this isn't meant to be a boast from me. What I'm saying is bonus question E was about how many competitors would have been better placed if they'd been in the same total but had been in the next weight class above? And all I had to do was change one of the helper columns and just take a subtraction between the two, and I did it in about 2 seconds. Now, if you start writing lets and do this sort of thing in here, you've got to go and tweak where is it and having the right thing. And I think these formulas, especially under the weight of you've only got 30 minutes in total, become impenetrable. And I think stepping it out, you never know which columns you might need somewhere else. And any formula you don't have to write twice is time in the bank.
100%, totally agree with that. Okay, why don't we head over to Harry then? Because you wanted to look and see what he was working on.
I mean, I see Zhang's back up with him again. This is going to be very, very interesting to see where they end up. I have a feeling. How about this? We'll have a little sportsman's bet. I reckon when we get to 30 minutes, what's the betting that on points they're tied? I think they have a good match.
They are a very good match. You know, they are so good a match that there was a poll on YouTube saying who's going to win between Zhang and Harry, and it was 52% to 48%, leaning slightly in favor of Zhang. So yes, this is definitely living up to the hype.
It's a shame one of them's going to have to go.
Indeed, indeed.
So which one's Harry doing at the moment? He's on question 6, level 6.
Yeah, I reckon level 6 is probably about the limit of what you can get to in half an hour here. And so if, assuming they both finish level 6, I think rather than start level 7, they really need to turn the bonus questions and try and get points there, because that's going to appear to be the distinguishing factor between the two of them. I think Harry is slightly faster at the moment. And so if he can get a couple of bonus points just before Zhang does, then that's going to give him the win.
So I'm presuming because they're both on the same scores, they've both cleared the first 5 levels and done the first bonus question. So yeah, it's I can still see that. I think level 6 isn't too difficult, but yes, 7's a bit of a nightmare. It's I was saying before this, I don't see anyone finishing this question, so I'll be very interested to see if either here or when the final results are shown afterwards, if anyone's got 1,500 points in this thing, then kudos to you. Tim and I both managed it, but we're not going to tell you what our times were. It's and we won't tell you how many attempts we made at level 7 either.
Just FYI, Liam, Giles has entered the chat on YouTube and he says he disagrees with us on lets and lambdas. That if you master them, the logic just copies over throughout. He just hasn't mastered them yet.
So Charles, have you entered? Are we going to be commentating on you on a future one, Charles? I'm looking forward to that. I will happily, if you're not already, I'm happy to try and find a wildcard position for you at some point. With you and Tim are going head to head. Happy to see that one. So for those that don't know Charles, so I presume you're talking about Charles Williams anyway.
Giles, not Charles.
Davis.
Giles.
Oh, Giles. I think you said Charles.
Sorry.
Charles.
Yep.
Oh yeah, well Giles even more so. Absolutely. Look, I may be commentating, but I've done it before, Giles. Have you sat down and done it yet?
Let's go check out Vivian. Vivian is on 370 points. He's scored an extra bonus question above Aina, and is what I'm assuming is working on 0.4.
Yeah.
I know he's actually. I think he's working on the other bonus questions. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe that this bonus question that he's working on looks at trying to change the weight class of the competitors to see how they'd compete in the other weight classes.
So that's bonus E then.
I believe so.
Yeah, so tackling that could be the difference. Actually, we were talking about those that are in the ties. We're looking at John and Michael, Zhang and Harry in particular, and even for Aina, Vivian, and I suppose Zoran and Will as well. So everybody, in other words. But if you tackle the bonus questions, if you start to realise you're getting out of time, maybe going EDCB rather than BCDE may be the difference at the end. There is a time where you have to bite the bullet and see in terms of what's going on here. Now, John's pulling away from Michael. It might be worth having a look how Michael's going on and if he's about to get back, because that's 160 points difference now between John and Michael. So perhaps we can pull up Michael and have a look at what's going on there. Ah, yes. My favourite monitor.
Yes, indeed. But a pivot table. Wow, I very
That's a
rarely
good
see a
idea.
pivot table in
Yeah,
these
yeah.
competitions. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I think that's actually going to change more once auto refresh becomes a more common, like once it hits current channel. People are going to start using pivot tables like formerly, I reckon. But yeah, it's very unusual to see.
Pivot tables was one of my attempts for level 7, so I wonder what question he's actually attempting. I'm presuming it's 5, but I'm just trying to see what it is level 5. And I see he's giving himself some helper columns in there.
Fair enough. Well, I'd love to see a new and innovative way of doing it. We did say that we were expecting to see some different approaches. So glad to see one that's completely unexpected, to be honest. I want to see what Zhang is doing though, because he's got 765 points and is taking a lead ahead of Harry. 765 is one of those awkward sort of scores, which implies that he's not got something right. You can see he's got 3/4 of the points for level 6.
So, well, you get to the stage before the end, as you well know, where you start guessing a few here. The level 6 question, I think, is not the most difficult one. Even though it says it's hard, I didn't find this the hardest question in there by in terms of the 6th hardest. I thought there were others that were more difficult. It's if you've got the medals right. So I'm thinking that he may have got the medal count right, but the formula wrong. So the medal count wrong, but the formula right. But I think people should start looking at the bonus questions now, because I think that's going to make a difference in here. So
that's right.
Our closest designer. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say that I think a bonus question that would be enough to break a tie in all but the Zhang versus Harry matchup. Right now, Zhang has finished level 6 by the looks of it. We're just waiting for the screen at the bottom to update. Or no, he's got most of the points level 6, sorry, 825. Harry's got a few points on the board for that.
Well, 657. No, we're definitely getting into the part scores now, aren't we?
Every point counts. But a bonus question would be enough to break the tie for all 3 of the other matches. So hopefully people start turning them pretty soon.
At the risk of improving my Danish a bit more later, I see someone is catching up Will now. So perhaps we should take a quick look at how someone's going to see if there's any chance he's going to get those extra 50 points and if he's gone for the bonus. No, he's going for the... So I presume that's hash name. Is that one? So equals X. Yes, I think that will be. Yeah. I think he'd be better placed trying to do one of the bonus questions at this point, would be my guess there. So I think the tightest we've got here is 9 points between John and Michael. That's going right down to the wire.
I mean, that is almost at a point where you want to start manually just centering things and looking things up.
We want to split screen and show both of them on at the same time, but I think that will give Emil's palpitations if we ask for that. So perhaps we take a look at what John's doing, if that's all right. We'll have a look and see where it's going, given we've got 100 seconds left. It's fast and furious now. So here we go. Oh, and look, as we came in, John's taken the lead. So we cut this just at the right time. This is going to be ever so tight, this one. And my favourite error, hash spill everywhere. I'm good at that. That's my favourite cell error.
I'm really kind of curious about this. Like, how was he able to get 2 answers in level 6 or 3 answers? He's doing each country one at a time, by the looks of it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on at counties.
Wow. Okay.
I know, yeah, but it's look. Don't knock it. He's 9 points ahead with 50 seconds left. It's working, but this at the end of the day, you just start guessing and doing anything to get the points. I'm not saying John is. I'm saying that you will try and just pick up any points because you just don't know how well your opponent's going. I mean, when I was doing this, I assumed the opponent was 600 points ahead of me.
I was just gonna. Oh, but I mean, they can see in the new system, right? So now, rather than the old system where they have to enter things into Excel Online, they have the new Esports, Excel Esports interface system. So they can actually see how competitors in this bracket are going. You can see on the right-hand side of their answer screen, they can see the live points, so they can see where they are.
Michael quickly, because I think this is the one for the last few seconds. I think that's going to make the difference. If we've got time, probably going to run out of time. Yeah,
I think we're going to run out of time.
Ooh, some tight scores.
It is.
And we were right with the winning scores. Yeah.
There we go. Most of them in that 700 sort of range. Yeah, we can see that. For what we were watching John copy things in one at a time in the last level 6 question. But I think Michael was doing the same sort of thing, seeing his score increment by 9 points every so often. Harry is probably doing something similar, finishing on 657 points as well. But we do have our head-to-head leaders. So Vivian has taken it out over Ina with 384 versus 338. John has won over Michael with 684 points. Zhang is the leader of the entire group with 875 points, taking out Harry today. And finally, Will has beaten Soren with 330 points. Why don't we go over to our competitors and see how they felt about this matchup?
So congratulations, everybody, anyway, because you did a good job being on screen and doing it. So whether you won or lost, good job in any case. I would like to go first, though, and just ask John, who's moved screen. I'm looking in for where's John gone, and he's down in the bottom right-hand corner now. So John, we were looking at the end. We were watching you as it was really tight between you and Michael. You kept getting 9 points we were trying to work out what you were doing to keep getting the 9 points. What was going on there?
I was struggling with a data table, so I just decided to brute force it, and I was getting one answer at a time. So I thought I'd stick it in as I got them, rather than trying to fix it and not be able to get any on that last round, on the or level 6. Sorry.
Well done, and commiserations to Michael, who put up a fair old battle there. I'm not saying everyone else didn't, but that was a very, very tight one. And as I say, John overtook you with about 1 minute and 15 left. It was very, very close.
Yep. That was a little painful. I do feel a bit redeemed, at least coming that close to success. I'm a little dirty on question 2, the bonus question 2. I didn't actually understand the wording of that one and wasted a bit of time there, unfortunately. I don't think I'm the only one.
Will was nodding at that, yes. So, Will, you agree with that comment then, do you? You didn't like the bonus question 2 either? Will's frozen now.
I think Will's been having a couple of IT issues. He was saying that his Excel crashed in the last 2 minutes. So,
oh no!
What do we talk to Soren then? How did you feel this matchup went?
You come with subtitles. You're on mute.
Have to unmute. Well, I've learned that I have to go see how Dim is going to solve it, because there are definitely things that I didn't know how to do. That's when you don't use it every day. There's just functions I don't know the name of. So something to learn.
I was certainly learning. I now know what Zobschlag is. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but we were coming in and looking at yours, and Tim and I, even with our cheat sheets, didn't really know the function. So we'll brush up on our Danish for next time.
Yeah, it's lookup. X obslate.
Oh, I knew I'd pronounced it wrong. I was going to say I've probably alienated the entire Danish community. So apologies.
No. We are easygoing.
So we'll try again with Will. Will, you were sort of agreeing with Michael about the question 2 bonus question. That is that what you were commenting on as well?
Yeah, I got stuck on that question for probably a good 5 minutes. I don't know what I was doing. I kept what I thought, running the same formulas and getting different numbers each time, and none of them turned out to be correct. But again, I'm very interested to see how Dim does this because. Whew.
Fair enough. Perhaps now's the time to congratulate Zhang anyway for actually getting the top score amongst the 8. And commiserations to Harry, who didn't exactly do a poor score and didn't get through. So well done, Zhang, for getting 875. I think that's a good score in 30 minutes, to be honest. I think that's a very good score.
Oh, thanks. My heart beats so fast. Actually, some of the bonus questions, I feel like this should be easy, but the answer is incorrect, and I was like, what is going on? And I started to get nervous, and I saw I kind of left behind Harry for some of the time, but luckily I got level 6 right, some of the answers. So yeah, I just don't have any time for level 7, and I just pray that Harry don't get level 6 right.
Fair enough. And Harry, what can we say? Well, you said it so well. Are you on mute, my friend?
Is this any better? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, yes. Well, Zhang, it was your lucky day because I couldn't figure out how I wanted to proceed with level 6. And by the time I did, I ran out of time. So I was messing around with those bonuses, including bonus 2, which I also didn't get, despite attempting it from a number of different angles and wasting probably far too much time on it. But no, good game.
No, fair enough. Well, you did live up to your prediction of coming, like, I guess, third, fourth this time around. So you could say tie third is an improvement on your previous positions, right?
Yes.
Vivian, how did you go?
I don't work out how to divide. So I had to skip whatever that weight question was. It was a bit disturbing because you guys are like brute forcing question 6, whatever. I was brute forcing question 4 still. Because I ran out of time to make it work. So I was just trying to get points like manually for the first 3. So yeah, unlucky Ina. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair
enough. Sorry, Ina, how did you go?
Well, at some point I was stuck in level 5 because I couldn't find the match for what was his name again? Walter Cariazo, and I realized at around 30 seconds before the end that the answer was there all along, and I just didn't have the time to finish it up. But congratulations to Vivian for making it.
So much of winning and losing here is about technique and knowing with about 5 minutes to go where can I steal points quickly. It's easier said than done, and for those of you that got through, well done, and for those who didn't, you probably could have got through. You know, it was pretty tight. There were some very close games here, and I know, Harry, I think you were closer to Zhang than the scoreline suggests. It was, you know, it just takes one question and suddenly you're right back there.
That's right. Well, thank you everyone for competing, and thank you to the 4 who've been knocked out. We appreciate your efforts today. Bad luck, but in case you weren't aware, there is still the last chance qualification round if you're in Las Vegas in the first week of December. So if you are there, we look forward to seeing you compete again. But for now, it'll be goodbye, and thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Cheerio. And Tim, of course, you'll be taking part in that, won't you?
I'll be around for that. I'll be there. I don't know if I'll be. I don't think I can compete, but
I can put your name down.
With that in mind, I can see in the YouTube chat there are some people asking if we get to see the round of 256 results. I don't think we get to see that right now. We'll wait till the end of the live stream where we'll see all of the results and take a look at everyone who's made it through the last 64, I believe. Actually, no, sorry. The producer has just said that let's take a look at the top 256. sorry, the round of 256. So
I'm
let's take a
very
look at the
curious to see
results
what the high scores
that
are.
everyone
Yeah.
has done. And Liam, you can take a look for Giles, because somewhere in there you might be able to see his score, is what he says
Oh,
in the
Giles
chat.
did compete, did he? Okay, so there's me teasing it.
Excellent.
There's some good scores in there. I'm looking at 998. I think is a very good score for this question. As I suspected, there may be a hole, and the next screen might show 10, 1500s for all I know, but I'm going to doubt that, to be honest.
Fair enough. There we go. Giles on the second row. There we are. Scraping across the line and making it to round 2.
Oh, 8
Fantastic.
points, Giles. Yes. Very good.
I love it. Okay. It looks like Seeds have generally made it through by the looks of it. Oh, Peter Shaw has been knocked out. That's a surprise, actually.
817 is nothing to complain about. That's Emily did a superb.
You'd feel pretty bad getting knocked out with 817, to be honest. But yeah. There's a 920 from Andrew.
Oh, Andrew, that's rubbish. Where's the 1500, Andrew?
All right. Who else? Who else are we seeing? This is the morning session, right? So I suppose we only get to see half of the competitors. The folks in the US and North and South America we'll get to see at another time, I suppose.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, with that in mind, why don't we take a quick break and we'll come back for round 2, where we'll see the winning competitors of round 1 back to battle it out. We'll see everyone soon.
Of Excel Esports. The Excel Esports online platform is here. For the first time ever, you can play Excel Esports anytime, anywhere. Practice solo, battle with friends, or challenge players worldwide. Dive into legendary Excel Esports cases, from epic collabs to fan-favorite puzzles. Track your progress, climb the leaderboards, and level up your skills. This is your arena. Sign up today at playexcelesports.com.
If you're looking to grow your business, worrying about having the right supplies and products in stock without overspending or wasting time shouldn't be on your to-do list. Order.co provides the easiest way to purchase and pay for everything your business needs, keeping operations running smoothly and your team focused on what matters most. Cut costs and complexity with every order and visit Order.co today.
The CFA program is your pathway to becoming a globally recognized investment professional. The Microsoft Excel Challenge is not just a competition, it's where future investment industry leaders rise. Where modeling meets strategy and strategy meets opportunity. The CFA program builds the foundation backed by the global benchmark in investment education. Chart your course, set the standard. CFA Institute.
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. And so for our final four for today's live stream, we have Vivian, John, Zhang, and Will. So who's ready for the next question? You guys had enough of a break? Ready to go?
John looks calm and collected. That's it. I was going to say, yeah. Oh, so steady as a rock there, John.
I wouldn't go that far.
So
Spirit,
now that
okay.
you've done the
So we
easy question, you're happy for the really hard one now.
Can we not go back to an
I'm
easy?
Will's face then. Sorry, Will. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. It's just you only need to know the sum function for this one. It's fine.
That's all right. A weight has been lifted off their shoulders after that first round.
You've been waiting.
So
to say that.
I've not been waiting. I'm just ad-libbing on the fly. But let's hop to it and see what the next case is all about.
To present you the case, Hopscotch, designed by Kobe Dombrowski from the US. In this case, you will play the classic playground game of hopscotch. Your first move is to hop onto the first space marked with a 1. You will then hop along the spaces in sequential order. When you reach the last space labeled with a 10, you will hop back to the beginning in reverse sequential order. You will continue reversing course until you get tired and reach your hop limit. Levels 1 to 3 will help you set up the building blocks, hopping on one leg, scoring points, and hopping over spaces with stones. Starting level 4, you'll be able to land on 2 feet in a single hop when there are 2 spaces in a single row. Level 6 introduce point multipliers based on the hopping leg, and level 7 uses the World Cup hopscotch grid. The case has 140 questions of 7 levels of difficulty and 5 bonus questions. Plan your strategy wisely. Good luck.
Alrighty. Sorry for the dad jokes, but hey, what can you do to keep yourself occupied on a Saturday night? Liam, you love this question, don't you?
I hopped to it right. I thought this was actually not as bad as the first one, but it's subtle. It's subtle, this one. It'll be interesting to see how people do in this one. So at the risk of upsetting Will, with who just looked at me and said, "Oh, this is harder." It's not, but it's hopefully fairly straightforward. But we'll see if there's any questions.
I have to admit, this was the harder one for me out of the two. So probably shouldn't say and scare the folks here. Yes, do you have any questions? Shaking heads. Thanks. I'm assuming that nod meant that you're okay, not that you've got a question, Zhang.
Best of luck, everyone. In terms of with this, this will give you nightmares about the old childhood game forevermore after this, won't it? But let's see how you get on with this one.
That's right. Let's go. Good luck. Have fun, everybody. Time starts now. Here's the familiar screen where we can see everybody performing.
I couldn't do that with the 8, but no, it's interesting you said you thought this was the harder one, Tim. While everyone's just getting going, I think the earlier ones were more straightforward, and I think as well the answers more forgiving. One of the things in here is I think you can get the logic slightly wrong and still get full marks on some of the questions. Might bite you later on. But it was interesting when we were checking the answers to this that it is possible to get all the marks in the questions even if you've not quite understood what's happening. And more on that as we go through the levels.
That's true. I will say, I feel like I took a wrong approach to try and solve this question, where I tried to use mods and tried to do things very compactly. But Vivian here, for example, has just said, let's go for it. Let's just model out every single hop that someone might possibly have, and is just seeing where everyone lands. And so that's, to be honest, that's what I found was the more successful approach to solve this. So Yeah, good on him.
I've got to say,
Yeah.
I did go down the mod route, but I did okay with lots of helper columns, lots and lots of helper columns. In fact, 200 of them in one in one bit, but we won't go there. But that's why I didn't get that through. And I think let's play the game we did last time then, Tim, while people are just getting started. What do we think are going to be the winning scores here? And it's good to see Zhang's off and running already with 80. So, but in terms of that looks like he's completed level 1 already. What do you think's a winning score here?
I reckon it's probably going to be fairly similar to the first round, actually. But I think Zhang will probably end up in the a similar sort of score. And no offense to Will, but I do think he's probably the favorite out of the pair of them. But I think the winning score between Vivian and John might be closer to the 400, 500 sort of level.
Well, let's take a look at John now. You mentioned John, because John's got 32, so there's probably a minor error in the logic right-off he's probably trying to fix. So it might be worth seeing where he's gone slightly wrong. So
yeah, I think I see straight away where he's gone wrong. The mod 20, like with hopscotch, you kind of think that it's going to be 1 to 10 and then 10 to 1, but you don't hop on square 10 twice, right? You go straight from 10 to 9 again afterwards. And likewise, once you get back to 1, you turn around and go straight to 2 next. So it's actually 18 that you need to use. And now he's worked that one out.
So just to be explicit to anyone there, it's numbers 1 to 10 and then back down to 2. And then the cycle repeats in this first part. It gets a bit trickier as we go through when this first one. So the mod approach is fine. It's just making sure you get the right numbers. Although you might use 20 to subtract the calculation off. Go back down if you work out the residual.
He had 18 to start off with, but now he's changed it to 19. I don't know why he's done that. But that's
Get it, leap year?
Oh, leap year.
Come on. I thought that was pretty good off the bat.
Well played.
That's a face of concentration from John. I've got to say that is a face of
what he's then found is that his score has actually dropped.
Yes.
So he's realised he's made even more of a mistake.
Now, I think we may be doing Will a disservice, so it might be worth going and having a look at Will, because Will is holding his own with Zhang. I agreed with you what you were saying. Based on the first round, it looked like Zhang might pull away from Will. No offence to Will whatsoever. So it delights me to see that Will's only 50 points behind, which I'm going to guess is a bonus question, maybe? Or... yeah, he's done levels 1 and 2 already.
Pretty impressive. Okay.
Yeah, level 2, actually getting through level 2 in less than 5 minutes. I'm not sure I did it in that time, so I kudos to both Will and Zhang and Vivian for that matter for going through. So and copying the questions off. So just having a look. What's the difference between the 230? Zhang has got bonus
1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought it might be, those. And I think keeping up with those right at the beginning and doing the bonuses will help you, because, again, I think this is a question where you're not going to get all 7 levels out. I just don't think that's possible in the time. But we'll see if anyone proves us wrong.
Yeah, fair enough. What I think they need on this new Excel Esports website is a spectator mode, so everyone can see what the scores are and which questions have been answered and which bonuses have been answered in real time, rather than just waiting for us to sort of browse different players and check it out.
No, I'm sure to be duly noted. So,
alrighty.
So it's great. I'm actually going to. I'm getting paid a commission this time. By the way, I need full disclosure. Every time Tim says "alrighty," I'm getting $1 for my actual commentary. off Tim as it happens. Don't worry, Meals. It's alrighty. So here we've got the money. Yeah, you need the cumulative scores and going through. Yeah, in hindsight, I would have definitely gone down the page. What Will's doing there, I did going across columns, and as you get further into this, it gets further. And again, this is a question where I think those of us that tackled it before, we all ended up with different methods. So there was int and mod, X lookups, data tables, pivot tables, all sorts of things I heard, and even I gather for the last one a bit of VBA to get the colours out. With 200 in that last one, it's difficult to get all the colours and the scoring out, which is why I don't think you can do it in 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, Will has managed to successfully answer bonus question 2, which puts him back on pace with Zhang. So the
You
question
said
is
that.
whether he
I'm
can make
having a look at the score.
just as I said that.
As you said that, 114 points went on Shang's total. Yes, I don't mean to contradict you, but your timing was perfect.
It was, wasn't it? It's interesting though that Zhang has it must be one question off level 3, getting a full completion for level 3. So his logic is slightly flawed. There must be something that doesn't work. My guess is that it's one of those cases where so level 3 is one where you throw stones out and you're not supposed to hop on those squares. My guess is that it's the 10 stone that he's missed, because I think there's one question that throws a stone to square number 10.
So question 58, I think, is it's there's an issue in here for those who've had a go at this, that the you can get, because the stone locations in the level 3 question I don't think any of them have 1, 2, and 10 or 1, 9, and 10 as their actual options. They'll just have two of those 3 numbers in there. The logic to get it to work in all situations is a bit more complicated. And I think depending on how you go about it, this is the thing I was saying at the beginning, you can get the answers pretty easily by making a couple of logical mistakes. And I think that's what Zhang's done. And I think what I like is, I'm hoping he's doing level 4 now. He's just moving on. I think for the sake you've got one wrong, you don't waste time trying to figure it out. You just move on to the next one and forget your score no longer ends in a 0. 3, 4, 4
I mean,
score at the moment.
It's a tricky choice to make when you're under pressure as well. Do you set it up and try and get the points on the basis that, if you need that logic in future questions, you might be doing yourself a disservice by getting a snowballing sort of error where it's only one question in level 3 that breaks, but then it's going to be 5 questions level 4, it's going to be 15 questions level 5, and so on.
And it gets harder with the lefts and rights, and whether the stones end at what I call the termini, the ends, because that will actually change your mod number as well, your modulus. So you might be using 18, you might be using 14, 13, 12 in various questions, but you've got to get that logic right. And I think when you have only got 30 minutes, what most of us will do, even though we may be brought up on best practice spreadsheeting, is we'll type HOD code in for the mod numbers. I don't think we're going to use too many lets to say what the number should be, and it's a different number in different parts of that formula anyway. It's a bit finicky, which is why you loved it so much, Tim.
That's right. Well, why don't we take a look at Vivian then? Vivian has a score of 258 points, so I'm guessing he's made a stab at level 3 and he's made a similar sort of error to Zhang. A slightly bigger compared to Zhang. So my guess here is that he's also missed out on the stone 1s as well as the stone 10s.
But yes, moved on. And I think that's as good an idea as any, rather than waste time trying to figure it out.
That's right. But he is reading this question very intently, which makes me wonder if he's actually going to score any points from this one, because if he's stumped by the question, and to be fair, the question is fairly involved. It's going to be hard to get moving and to get points. I mean, yes, it's one thing to be able to interpret the question and to understand what it's trying to do, but then he's going to come up with a solution to actually model it out.
Yes, and I didn't see on that he got the foot bit right yet. He wasn't looking at that. So, we're using filter on this one with John. So this is level 3. Interesting.
I think I know
using a
one.
matrix approach, hasn't he? I think on his working sheet, he's been doing if is in matrix. I saw or something earlier, looking through. He does like his spill errors, though. We noticed this in the first one. So, a man after my own heart. I like spill errors. I'm very good at them.
I was trying to work out where he left the formula.
Well, actually, while we're talking about that on a serious note, the tip I gave in the first one about perhaps putting the case study numbers into a table, if you're going to use dynamic arrays, of course, people like Giles and others are going to shout at me and say, well, actually, that's no good because you'll get a hash spill error if you try and use a dynamic array formula in a table. So there are strengths and weaknesses to this. You spelled sequence wrong there.
I know, and I'm looking at that, thinking that, oh my god, he's going to hit enter. It's going to tell him that there's an error, and he's not going to know where the error actually is.
Oh, it's told him he's got too few arguments first, so that's even worse. Yeah, a tip I give to people here is that I think it's right to put all your formulas, sorry, your function names in lowercase, but use tab to actually go across. So once you've gone through enough. And the mistake I always do is for, I think it's when I'd use transpose, I always get translate. But the thing is, if you do that and you see everything capitalizes, it's very easy to spot where you've got your error.
Fair enough. I will say that, there we go, it's found his error. I was going to say, whenever I'm working with a let function, if I have to, what I'll generally do is try and start each variable on a new row in the formula bar, just to try and spread it out and make it a bit easier to see where do things start and finish, essentially. And then you can look at the colors for your brackets to try and work out, well, have I actually finished what I need for this particular variable before moving on.
So you've got a 100-inch monitor as well.
Well, no, I open my formula bar up like 6 or 7 rows, but that's just me.
And this is the other concern I've got with using the let function as well. It's a bit. I'm going to go into a pedantic point here, but it's a bit like the VAR function in DAX, in that you've got to be careful sometimes if numbers are going to change in the range name sometimes. That once they're set, they're set. And I don't want to bore everyone to death with the technical detail of this, but sometimes I think let trips you up. It's great that it doesn't keep recalculating all the time, but sometimes you want something to change as you go through the logic of it. And yeah, he's trying to debug this, and it's always, when you've got a formula that's going across 4 rows, it gets trickier, especially under time pressure, to look at debugging. Especially, it could easily be a bracket in the wrong place. Yeah.
Well, let's move on from John. Let's go check out Will, because Will is another one of on those odd sort of scores. So it'd be interesting to see whether he's going to try and fix up level 3 or whether he's going to move on.
So he's using foot, false, and true, right? The concern I've got using false and true for the feed is you make a silly mistake and put the false and the true the wrong way round for left and right, and it costs you seconds. I'd be using left and right from the get-go.
Well, I mean, one of the other issues with false and true is that you actually need to solve things with both as well, right? So,
is that the one on this one though? Is it? Both
yes, you have a both
it's on
score.
that one now, is it? Yeah, so he needs a 3-state universe.
Yeah, so I think I used 1s and 0s to start off with, and I realized that there was a third option after the fact, and so ended up with 2s, 1s, and 0s or something like that.
Yeah, but again, that's perhaps where I'll sort of agree to disagree with you. That I think if you're doing these under time pressure and you're trying to get the points out, the fewer substitute variables you've got in there, and you're using the things that will just come straight out, the better, I think. Unless you're going to use something like a choose function, and then using 1, 2, and 3 may be good because of the logic that you have to apply.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, let's take a look at Zhang now, because he's moved on to 436 points. I think that means that he's answered some of the things in level 4. You can see he's probably got about, a 30%, 35% completion rate for level 4. And this is the risk that I was saying before, that you have one small error in level 3, it snowballs to a larger error in level 4. It means he's probably unlikely to score points in level 5, 6, and 7 as a result. So I'd say, given the completion rate of level 4, would you go back and try and fix up things, or would you move on? What do you think?
I want to the bonus questions, which I think he's doing as well. I think we've got 13 minutes left. It depends on the time pressure. You think if you've got the logic nailed down. It is a bit worrisome that the level 4 question is only about it's got it out. It's got the whole thing out now as we speak. But that's going to make a big difference. So it's pulling away quite merrily. But I think the other thing was keeping up with the bonus questions as you go. So notice, if you look at the bonus questions, bonus A, B, and C relate to levels 2 and 4. And as he goes in here, he's trying to take the bonus questions at the same time. And I think that's a good technique. But it's interesting he's got 4 out without getting 3 quite right as they build on from each other. It's going to be interesting as you get. I found level 5 getting quite involved. My helper columns went on to column BP in the end, as I was going through.
I wonder if he's actually fixed the error level 3 in level 4, and that's how he was able to get 100%. But he just, for the sake of 4 points, it's not worth going back and fixing up your solution in level 3.
Possibly.
Let's go check out Vivian, though, because Vivian has a 50% completion rate at level 4. So I'd like to see what he ends up doing with the same sort of challenge. Does he try and fix it? Does he just plow on? He's going to go back and do the bonus questions. Excellent.
We've got single and double for the foot, I'm noticing there, which again I think is even more, because then with single you've got to decide whether it's left or right. I like that notation even less. I think he's causing more formula calculations than he needs. But it's easy. It's easy to. I want to be clear here. I sound like a harsh commentator. I'm not. It's very easy here for us to just sit in. We've already done it. We didn't have to worry about whether we did it in 30 minutes or whatever. And the number of mistakes that you and I made between us, Tim, we could write a book on, couldn't we? But the fact is that the fewer formulas you have to calculate, the fewer mistakes you're going to make. And I think here that Vivian seems to be pulling quite a bit away from John now. But it's this foot column Q there, that foot, the double and the single worries me a little bit, that he's making that formula a bit more complex than it needs to be. You see there in column Q. And you see, because then you're having to see, he's having to work out the foot in column AC, which he's now deleted. Was he copying it? I think he's copying it down. That's what I see. Lots and lots of rows. That's what we like to see. Look, if it works, don't knock it. Simple as that. If it's going to get the answer out, that's all you care about in these things. There are no marks added for finesse. I don't know what the -1 for double means in column Z, though. Be interested to see what that is. It's interesting.
Well,
you think he just
he's copying one thing at a time, like the left side and then the right side, the left side and the right side. I would have just copied the entire row down if I possibly could. But yeah, this is people in the chat on YouTube are saying that this case seems very tough. Yes, I think, like I said before, Liam might disagree. I personally think it's a tougher case than the weightlifting question.
Yeah, look, I will be honest. What put me off was on the first one, the powerlifting, was I got into a muddle on level 7 with sorting out the data to get all the things out. And I think that's what I put through. The problem with this one is there's lots of it, and it's got some subtle issues with the terminus, getting the left and right, going through, getting the modulus right. So how many things there are in a cycle, it depends where the stones get thrown, and also the colours. I think trying to get the 200 colours out in 30 minutes on its own is enough. But as it was suggested to me, why don't you use VBA? Well, then, you might not think of that within 30 minutes, or VBA may not be your strength. So I can understand. The reason I'm putting this slightly behind the other one, though, for me, and I'm happy to take on the might of all the YouTube people, is purely I think it's possible to get a higher score in this one in 30 minutes. That's what I'm saying, because I think you can get some of the logic wrong, as we've seen people like Zhang and Will and Vivian have all got part scores in here. You can get the logic slightly off and still get 70 or 80% of the marks, and I don't think it was so forgiving in the first one. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not saying this is an easy question. I'm saying I think it's easier to pick up marks if you understand the difference.
That's fair. I just want to call out a comment from Harry Gross in the chat. The Scotch part of Hopscotch is advice on how to get through this question. So I think that's very well said.
Whilst hopping as well. I like that.
All right. Let's head back to Zhang and see how our leader is going at the moment. 534 points. We know he solved question 4 entirely. My guess is that he solved question 5. So, Liam, do you want to explain to everyone what is question 5 actually about, and what is Zhang doing over here?
So with this one here, what you've got to actually do, the stones are thrown onto the grid, so like before, they can't be landed on, so you have to hop over them. But the aim here is that if the row has 2 spaces and one's covered by a stone, you just continue hopping. So if you could land on it and you could put both feet down, you then start hopping with the other foot. So it's not about just getting what's the actual number of steps you're making. It's also about the score. So you've got the complication that red's are worth 3 points, purple 6, and blue are 10. But of course, it's even more awkward because sometimes 4 and 5 will score you, what will that be? A red and a purple will be 9. But in other scenarios, if there's a stone on there, it's only going to score you either 3 or 6. Or if the stone's on both, you're going to skip it altogether and go to 5. And that's on top of the complications you've got with putting stones on 1 and 10, and maybe 2 or 9 at the same time. There's a lot going on in here, which is why I think people are starting to struggle. It's not impossible. It just takes a bit of time and a cold mindset and stepping it out. And I really think lots and lots of helper columns is the way to do it. It was for me anyway.
That's fair. I love the way that Zhang is trying to approach this, though. That he's actually laid out a hopscotch court, as you might call it, on the screen. Yeah. So columns G, columns G and H. You can see he's stepping down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are in the same row. 6, 7, 8 in the same row, and so forth. And so what I think he's actually doing here, he's sort of simulating what would happen if you're not stepping on 4, 6, and 10. What does the hopscotch court look like? What do the points look like for that? So rather than try and do it on a big table and trying to sort of simulate the results, he's actually going to the heart of what can you score and when you play this game, which I think is a really interesting way of doing it.
And if you do it that way as well, that didn't occur to me when I was looking at it, but having seen him lay it out like that, of course, it then lends itself very easily to a data table.
Absolutely.
From there, you can get it, and that could be. And again, you haven't got time to do all 200 in level 7 here, which is what I think the big problem is. But in terms of for the 1 to 10, you can easily get this out in the data table. And again, even if you make some errors in it, I think you can still pick up maximum marks. I'd like to go to John, though, if we can. We haven't seen John for a while. He's been stuck on 180 for a long time, and I know he seems to be a long, long way behind Vivian. But it'd be interesting to see what's got him stuck, because we can find out and have a chat with him afterwards, because I don't think he's going to turn it around at this stage. No offense, John, but it'd be interesting to see what's causing all the problems and which question he seems to be stuck. Is it on level 3, or is he trying to do the bonus question?
He's stuck on level 3, but he got the 20 points to the bonus question 1 that he's just submitted. So he's just moved on to 200 points.
It looks like he's doing bonus B at the moment. He's got a table going down to 1,000. And I think he's trying to get what's your score after the 1,000th hop, I think is what he's trying to do. But he's doing this weird copying again, like before. We saw this in the last one where he was not copying it all in one go. So if he sums all that up and gets the total, I'm thinking this is for question 5945.
Yep.
Which
I think is correct.
is
There
the
we
right
go.
answer.
Yep.
Yep. So he's got
30
that.
points.
So that's got him. He's finally got some points here. So I don't know if he was stuck on the other questions because it might be better trying to tackle the other ones. But if he couldn't get level 4 out, he's probably going to struggle with bonus C. So good luck,
Yeah,
John.
right. I mean, the bonus questions 3, 4, and 5 would only be worth 200 points between them. So I mean, you have to get all 3 bonus questions correct to try and overtake Vivian. So he's got to tackle the actual levels before long.
Now, as a trick here, what I would have a go at a bonus D, and I actually thought about this, is you know what the score is on question 2 about how many games across levels 4 and 5. You know the answers between 1 and 40. I'd just be putting every answer in until I got the marks.
Yeah, I think one of the problems is that with the bonus question, the way that the Excel Esports system does it, and so when you and I do it, we have the answer in the spreadsheet, so we get immediate feedback. When he answered the bonus question 2, you saw there was like a 10-second or 5-second delay between when you enter it in and when the response comes out.
I get that. I understand that fully, but what I'm saying is if you're not quite sure how to do the other questions, you might as well make sure you pick up those 60 points. That's what I'm thinking. Because I would start off somewhere in the 20s probably, because it's going to be somewhere around there. Look, I know the answer is 22, but I'm not saying that because I know the answer is 22. It's just it's more likely to be somewhere in the middle. It's what I'm thinking, and so I would go down there and just try and see. It got me through one round, as you well know. I cheated my way out of one round when I was doing this for real, using a similar sort of logic. And sometimes it's about playing the game rather than playing the game. If you see what I mean.
That is very true. Well, it does look like everyone is more or less stuck on points at the moment. The point scores haven't really moved other than John's bonus questions. So with 1.5 minutes to go, we may well be looking at our leaders right now.
Yeah. But I think if we're looking for which one to go back at this point in time, whilst Zhang's an interesting one, I feel like I'm favouring John, but it's not. I just wanted to see what he wants to do next, just seeing what he's trying to tackle, because he's had a bit of a rough time of it, trying to debug calculations when we've been in. I'm just seeing if he's still trying to debug or if he's attempting another question.
Yeah, I think he is still trying to debug that.
Yeah. And this is the problem with this question, is that sometimes with these, yes, the later ones build on some of the others, but you don't need to necessarily follow everything as you go through. But some of the logic in the earlier ones really does impact the ones afterwards, which is what Tim was talking about earlier. And I think this is going through. But Zhang's picked up some more. Maybe we can go and have a look how he's got to 606. What's he up to now? Is this another bonus or?
Yeah, it's part of question 5. So he's got just less than half of question 5 done.
Okay, I'm looking at level 4 though. He's got nothing in there, and yet it says he's got half.
Because they enter the scores on the Excel Esports website.
Ah, okay. Now you see. Look, here's me commentating, and I don't even understand what they're doing. 6 seconds left. I think we know our winners.
Yeah,
Let's
there we go.
congratulate them.
All right, so congratulations to Zhang and to Vivcan. Let's head back to the final scores. We can see everyone had a go at bonus 1 and 2, but our leaders took out bonus, or had the time to take out bonus 3, and make attempts on level 4 and level 5. So I think this round was a little bit more one-sided. It's a bit unfortunate, but 606 points is nothing to sneeze at for Zhang in this round, and 400 points for Vivian. I think my prediction is pretty much bang on, Liam, isn't it?
Yeah, we thought it was going to be very similar, so I think let's welcome back our contestants. And so, what did we think?
Start with John. You seem to get stuck on a little bit there that couldn't quite get past the 180 points for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. My maths just completely failed me on all counts, so I have no idea what was going wrong. And yeah, struggled on that one. That's an interesting one. I have to go back and have a look at that.
Fair enough. And Vivian, congratulations in getting through there. What did you think of it?
Oh, thank you. It didn't have division, so that helped me a lot because that's what I got stuck on the previous question. But yeah, it was interesting. I wasn't getting full scores for it, but I just kept going. I'm assuming I wasn't allowing for them turning properly and skipping the stone. But yeah, just do not have time to try and get that right. So yeah, just kept going. So see how I go.
I think everybody actually ended up, apart from John, with not quite getting everything out on a question, because I think this question is quite forgiving, that if you get 80 or 90% of the logic right, you can get 80 or 90% of the marks. So, and I think those that did better were those that didn't keep trying to solve what was going wrong and just accepted that they got a bit wrong, which goes to our overall leader again this time, Zhang. Well done. You top scored both times round. What did you think of this one?
Thank you. This case was tough because there are so many edge cases to think of, and the first levels are not easy. So I found I have no time for the later levels. So I just fight for the partial scores. This time, because this is very difficult, so I'm not sure if I can win if the opponent is Harry Watson. So I feel very lucky that the case I didn't play against him.
Fair enough. I've got to say, you say that the first levels were very tricky, but in about 4 minutes, I think you got 180 points on the board. So that was that was pretty modest thing. And Will, commiserations, but did you like the wording of the bonus questions better here, or how did it go for you?
Yeah, very much so. The bonus questions were a bit more doable. I just couldn't wrap my head around the logic for both feet on the same, I guess, step at the same time. But yeah, had fun. That's all that matters.
First 15 minutes, you were matching Zhang. We thought it was going to be very close to begin with, and then I think it starts to break you. This question does a bit later on, doesn't it? As it gets more and more complex.
Yeah, just the extra layers, like they said, of the edge cases. It was overwhelming, but yeah, end of the day, had fun.
It wasn't a bad score. I mean, I think 1500. I wouldn't judge 1500 as an achievable target in 30 minutes. I really don't think that's a winning. I mean, it's obviously a winning score, 1500, but I don't think that's feasible. Over to Tim.
Fair enough. I'm just going to say, Kobe, the case writers in the FMWC, the Excel Esports YouTube chat at the moment, saying that by his account, the case he just saw was harder than his original, but still very faithful to his ideas. So, credit to the FMWC team. Alrighty, well, congratulations again to Vivian and Zhang for making it through to the round of 64. Well done. John and Will, commiserations, but again, for you guys, there is still the last chance qualification round if you are going to be in Vegas in December. If not, then hopefully we'll see you back here for the live streams again in the future.
Yeah.
All right. With that in mind, we're going to get an ad break, and then we'll check out the final round of 64. Who has made it to the round of 64 next week.
Of Excel Esports. The Excel Esports online platform is here. For the first time ever, you can play Excel Esports anytime, anywhere. Practice solo, battle with friends, or challenge players worldwide. Dive into legendary Excel Esports cases, from epic collabs to fan-favorite puzzles. Track your progress, climb the leaderboards, and level up your skills. This is your arena. Sign up today at playexcelesports.com.
Alrighty, so here is the state of the brackets now. Again, we have some seeds who have been wiped out. How Anup is not seeded is a little bit beyond me. I think that's a little bit unfair to Grayson, to be honest. But look, I think we've seen Eljon get knocked out. Some very low scores, relatively speaking, here. Anup scored highest at 780. Yeah. Let's have a look at the next page. Let's see. Oh my goodness, Charles has been knocked out. Got knocked out by Nick. Poor guy. Yeah, that's a little bit hard when you get the 11th seed. You know, in the second round. So bad luck, Charles. Sorry about that. But congratulations to everyone else who has made it through. Let's take a look at the next page.
Definitely lower scores here, aren't there? So
yeah. I think so. Andrew's got the highest score at 804. Is that what we've seen so far?
That looks like it, yes. And I must.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I think this is
it's a tough one. It's a tough match. I don't think either of these questions were possible in 30 minutes. I mean, trying to get 200. Here's a challenge: is I'd give 1,500 points for getting all the colours down in 30 minutes with the scores on level 7. I think. Never mind then attempting the question.
Fair enough. Fair enough. This is a preliminary set of results, as I understand. But you know, there's it's pretty impressive, I think. So, good on them.
They could have miscounted Andrew's points. Maybe he only got 19.
I'm reading the chat. Giles is saying he's going to need to master in-game Lambda builds before December. So I look forward to seeing you pull all those out on the on day one, in the last chance round, Giles. Alrighty.
I'm going to use agent mode. I'm going to take part in it. I'll just put it all into agent mode, and it'll have done question 1 after half an hour.
That's right. Well, what do we have coming up next week? On the 18th of October, we do have the next set of rounds, which is the last 64 and the last 32. Oh, next 3 rounds. Sorry, last 64, 32, and 16. Whereupon we will see the 8 people who automatically qualify for the day 3 competition in Vegas. We'll also get to see the 24 people, so the rest of the top 32, who will be qualified straight into the round 2. So the match day 2 competition in Vegas. And I think 16 of the 33-64 players will also make it based on their performance in the rounds. So of the next round, a lot of people will be heading to Vegas. We'll have to wait and see who it will be. For those people who have been knocked out, commiserations to you all. But we do hope to see you on the day 1 of the Vegas tournament for the last chance qualification round. Liam,
So,
did
Tim,
you have anything? Okay,
Well, I was going
go
to
on.
ask actually, you explaining those rules so eloquently, or not as the case may be, about who gets in and whatever. Is that actually the basis for the next question for the last 64 about actually working out who gets through? Because that sounds quite complicated. And I was going to say, do they have to play hopscotch as well?
They have to play hopscotch as well.
With
They have to,
weights.
they have to
That's
lift
like
weights with
next
one
one,
arm tied behind
hopscotch.
their back as well, Liam.
Hopscotch with weight is what we're going to be doing the next question on. I'll just give you a bit of a thing in there. So it's going to be with different gravity levels on different planets. We've just got a version of the next question out. I've just seen a preview, and I thought I'd just leak it here so that everyone knows, and therefore no one will come back for the last 64.
Excellent. Well, if you haven't had enough of Excel stuff and you can't wait until next week, Liam, is there something else Excel going on between now and Saturday next week, perhaps?
Oh, let me think. Tuesday to Thursday next week. It's free. It's for charity. Excel Virtually Global is on www.excelvirtuallyglobal.com. 60 experts from around the world will be going for 58 hours in total. It's going over 2.5 days. Check it out. It's all, you don't need to register, you just turn up. All we're asking for is make a donation to your favorite charity and tell us about it. Everyone's giving their time freely, and it'd be great to learn all things about agent mode, AI, Power BI, Excel, Power Pivot, Power Query, et al. I'll miss half of them off, but yeah, a lot of people in one place. It's one of the biggest events on the virtual planet.
Excellent. So, with that in mind, thank you everyone for joining us for the live stream. We'll probably call it quits there. If you have extra comments you want to leave in the chat, please do so. We'll be keeping an eye on that and replying. But yeah, let us know what you thought of the cases. Let us know what you thought of the performances. And look, we'll see you next week for the round of 64. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Liam, for hosting tonight.
I was going to say, if you enjoyed this session, I'm Liam Bastic. If you didn't, I'm Tim Heng.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.